all out of Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first to market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts.
Probably once, but yeah, we'll talk about we're also going to talk about Colin Cowherd's clickbaitish top 10 duos.
Oh, yeah. I hear this.
I ain't hear that one.
Let's see.
Oh, man. I said that.
You said it's on that. What's good? What's good? What's good, sports world? Welcome to Late Night Sports. I'm your host, Mookie Hawkins, on the ones and twos. Your favorite nephew, Big J. Brady Roberts, in the building. Joining me inside the booth today, I have Challenger Community News extraordinaire Andre the George Robinson, and Justice the General decided to show up. They must have paid their rent. Justice, what's good? How you been?
I forgot already. I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? Just glad to be back in the area, so it's all good.
Okay, all right. We got some things to discuss. Inside the booth here, I want to turn these down. All the mics. Turn these down. Some things to really discuss and come back here. Obviously, we still have to discuss Steelers versus, Bills. That recap. Some things that Josh Allen had to discuss about cleaning those pre-snap things up. You know what I mean? So we get into that, and as well as obviously the biggest scenario of the day is Stephon Diggs wanting out of Buffalo Part 2. But yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. We're going to hear what Stephen A. said this morning in reference to that. And then we're also going to hear Stephen A.'s, I guess, rebuttal or whatever the case may be. So, we're going to discuss that. We're also going to discuss Colin Cowherd's top 10 quarterback receiver duels. I mean, come on now. I mean, it's just getting to a point where, people are doing things for clickbait or just, I don't know, people just say anything now. We definitely going to talk about that, but gentlemen. Bills, Steelers. Justice. Me and the church, we talked about it briefly, right? What is your thought on that, whatever that was, Stephanie?
It was just a microcosm of what we see during the regular season from time to time. You have a juggernaut offense come out and get started fast, and then all of a sudden the game plan just goes down and spirals downward, and there's not ever a recovery. And honestly, this is exactly what I was talking about when I say the Bills need more consistency from the coaching staff, from the effort, the output, all of it. We can't be going around here getting smacked around by the Steelers. I don't care if it is in the preseason. That's crazy. Now, I will say that I'm happy that we came out healthy for the most part. So outside of that, it really just felt like more last season's Bills, just inconsistencies.
I don't know what to really take of it. I mean, it just gave me a flashback of the Cincinnati game and think about how you're down 14-7. Right? You're down 14-7. Think about what do you do to try to calm things down in that situation just to get some sort of rhythm of offense going, not going in and out like they did previous, and get some things generated. But that first half it was just bad because of the penalty. So you can't really say truthfully about how the offense is because plays were made. Which is that negated, some of those drives. The Bills stalled out because of those penalties, and that can't happen. That shouldn't happen to a team that's been together for 4 to 5 years tops, easy. All right. To me, there's no explanation of why this team is so undisciplined in preseason. But again, if it was such a time, preseason is a time to do. Because you have time to correct those little things and before the season starts. After this week's game in Chicago, basically the Bills don't play until when? September 11th, right?
Yep.
So 26, 11. That's 15 days. That's 2 whole weeks of you not really playing against anybody. And your team really, obviously, they're not in a rhythm. They're having pre-snap problems. Right? So there's some timing off. There's rhythm not, it's awesome. There is some unbalance, offense with football and not. So those things got to get corrected. They got to get fixed. They need to get fixed quickly. So you may see Josh Allen and company back out there again in Chicago. I don't think at this point right now where you can afford to not have Josh Allen and that first team offense play the way they went out there and played against Pittsburgh and think that's okay to start the season. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I'm quite sure that question will be asked tomorrow in practice. You can't let them just sit down after a performance like that. That's like you never in practice on a bad play. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, we can't do that. We can't end it on an interception. You know what I mean? We gotta execute. Last play of practice, we well executed, and that's kind of like in the same sense here. Like, you can't say Josh Allen is done for the preseason after that performance. You can't say that. I mean, he can. He's the head coach. He does what he wants with their $43 million investment, but. Really? I don't know. That's something to see. Because guess what? They're going to Chicago, again, a team that's not scared of them. A team that feels that they got something to prove. A team that, hey, they have one of our players. I'm quite sure Tremaine Evans is going to play in that game. He's going to make his preseason debut versus his former squad. And, it's going to be personal for them in preseason. And the Bills, I think, just want to get out of this. You know what I mean? They just want to get ready to the games. When you basically, I guess when you're one of the top teams, you just want the season to start. You know what I mean? You don't want to, go too hard preseason, risk an injury or something like that. I don't know. But it's something, they're lackadaisical in areas. And I think that's just an unbalance of, they just got to get game reps. They got to rep that out. And I think that they should play in the Chicago game, at least a quarter.
I feel like you got to coach that out of that's what Kobe talks about when he talks about like falling in love with the process. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't just walk through practice and like you play how you practice and you practice how you play. So like you got to take those reps seriously. And they just went out there and laid an egg, much like they did in Week 1 versus the Steelers a couple years ago. So I don't know if Mike Tomlin just got the answers or if Levi Wallace was really giving out team secrets. But I don't know what happened.
Nah, I don't think that. With that, I would just say, hey, look at it like this. The Wilma Marion Bowl is personal because Tomlin and McDermott, they were teammates, so that's definitely gonna be personal. But they both got the pride of their school. You can't go back to the Wilma Mary Hall of Fame and talk trash to Tomlin this year. You know what I mean? And then Tomlin remembers how the Bills destroyed them last year. Catching 98-yard bombs. It's pretty much Josh Allen doing what he wanted to do with them. So, yeah, preseason, they probably took it a little bit more personal. Tomlin remembered that and had his guys eating hot sauce all week last week. the way they went out there and played. And against the ones, defensively, they made it look easy. I mean, Jalen, what's his name again? Warren, 560-something yards. You know, then Pickett just diamond the fair move over the middle. So we do have a caller. We had a caller. They hung up. They're probably disconnected. Caller, if you hear us, you're tuning in. Call back. We definitely want to hear what you have to say. Press lines is open 716-837-1112. You know what to do. Okay, they calling back.
I will say real quick, before, like, just the same way that I look at it, like, if the Bills were to walk this thing, saying that don't matter, like, I want to see that right. In like an inverse way, I'm kind of feeling the same way. Like, I understand we just got stomped around, but like, I'm not super worried about it.
Well, I could say in the second half, Kyle Allen, it's like the tale of two QB tubes. I say that, but we'll get into that in just a minute. Is the caller ready? Caller, you're alive. State your case.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. Good evening. Good.
Good.
Hey, but I was at that game Saturday night. My wife to watch the game, and it was a birthday gift for her. What I saw from that game, I don't think. One, no, they weren't prepared to play, but something that I noticed, they went up against a team that was a 3-4 defense, and I don't think they're really prepared for it. No, they did look good, but the body language of the team as a whole, they weren't panicked. They just kind of took it on the chin, basically.
Yeah.
But I do see where there is cause for concern, but I think they'll be okay. I do.
And what is the concern? What is the concern you think they have?
If it happened once, it could happen again. It gets blown out like that.
Well, yeah.
Little mistakes that they made. They started off on the wrong foot. That long run, that was like a freak accident where Poona Ford was pushed into the other defensive tackle. They missed there. They couldn't close that gap, and my man took off. And it just snowballed from there, in my opinion.
That was a well-executed play. If you look at that play again, that looked like the same play that Minnesota ran last year with Dalvin Cook. You know, they ran ISO weak, which, the Bills is going to bump over and play strong. So once they give you that look, you are man for man on the backside. So when you see man for man, everybody is hat on. The running back has one man to beat. Either it's going to be the safety or it's going to be the corner. In this case, it was the safety. And Jordan Poyer is 15 to 10 yards, nowhere near the running back before he breaks the line of scrimmage. So that's a well-executed play. Dodson, the linebacker flow didn't get over in time, and it was a one-on-one situation with the running back and the tackler. Poyer takes a bad angle. Matter of fact, he's still running. I said it yesterday. He's still running. Ain't nobody touching him. And this is against the ones. So that, yeah, you're right. That is definitely a concern that I saw that I had out there. Middle linebacker. What's your responsibility? You have the containment. You have to force the play inside to Matt Milano. Y'all can't take the same damn lane. In that situation, you have to force the runner back inside to your help. If you just let him get outside, then it's no containment. There's no containment, and guess what? It's a race to what? The sideline.
Right. I'll say this. That same play they ran it again and it was shut down. That's what I'm saying. I'm not really worried.
Mm-hmm.
I got to look back at things and saw where they ran that play again. It was the same exact idea. And if the Bills were that sloppy, they would have let off another big run like that. Yeah. That didn't happen.
Yeah. I give them that, but sometimes that's all you need in ball games is when you execute it, you only need to execute it once because, hey, that's the only time you got to do it. You ain't going to be able to do it again. And, they wasn't goofy enough to let it happen again. At least they understood play recognition and, made a play there. But teams are going to do that once in a while against the Bills during the course of the regular season, and they got to be able to recognize that. And if they can't,
They
then
do.
we'll get that same result. So I'm quite sure Coach McDermott has definitely taken a look at that play specifically because they don't really give up big chunk runs like that. So and they did get a little bit stout after that play. There were some missed tackles. But yeah, the Bills got to know how to play from behind because they're so much of an explosive offensive team. They are the ones that's jumping out at you. But when has they ever been in a situation where they were down early big? They never been in that situation in I don't know how long. Tampa Bay game, I probably figured that they was down, that much, and actually almost came back and won that game. They forced overtime, and lost in overtime, and that was what Dable was here. So I mean, they haven't been in that situation in a while, and it gets foreign to you to the point where you don't know how to you don't know how to get out of that situation because you're not used to being in it. And the Bills need to be used to being in certain situations like that because they're going to be in them this year.
Yeah, it was a wake-up call. The other thing that's a side note, there were very few Bills fans at that game, I have to admit. They talk about how Bills fans travel with the team. Pittsburgh is only 3.5 hours away. Very few blue jerseys were in that stadium. But about them playing, they probably needed that to wake them up because while I didn't see any panic on them, they were fine. They just realized they lost. But if they're believing any press clippings or any hype, they need to stop that and get down to business. If they do that, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they got to get down to business.
If we're looking at something like this after the fourth, fifth game of the season, then it's time to panic. But
they got to clean up them penalties. 12 penalties in the first half alone, 4 turnovers. They glad that they got out of there with a respectable butt kick in 27-15. I mean,
it wasn't that close.
I mean, hey, those guys, they put some points on at the end, and Pittsburgh didn't. So that in preseason, you got to, the spoils of war, right? So got to give them something. They got to give them something. And it wasn't like that. Matt Barkley didn't get those guys, down there. He just turned the ball over in their neck of the woods. So the Bills did have some drives. It's just that penalties and turnovers just negated it. They got to clean that stuff up, and that's why I say that Josh Allen and the first team need to go back out there against Chicago and play again. There ain't no sitting down and then you don't play till September 11th. You cannot put on. Come on, like the offense has not scored. Y'all not scoring points. Y'all ain't scoring points at all. A series, the first unit. So that's good. That's good enough to start the season.
No.
Not a chance. Not a chance. So hopefully, you're gonna see that first unit out there. I'm quite sure Coach McDermott ain't gonna have his team go out like that. They got to perform a little bit better, before the season starts. And I'm quite sure you're gonna see Josh Allen, and the competitor and Josh Allen definitely wants to be out there. So I'm guessing Josh plays in, at least that first quarter or first couple of series. If they go out in that first series and walk down the field and score, then he pull them. You know what I mean? But show me that. Show me that.
Right.
If we're a good enough team, if we're a Super Bowl contending team, let's just march right down here and get Chicago. And all right, we are who we think we are. Yeah. And do that, then okay, sit down. If not, then okay, you got the rest of the quarter. But I think that this first unit still has to go out there and play. I mean, you have to with this new type of offense that Dorsey is trying to install with Kincaid. You have to be out there as much as possible before the regular season starts with Josh Allen and Kincaid. And that connection did look pretty good, so, we have to wait and see. So, hey, man, I definitely appreciate your insight. Appreciate you calling. Torch, you got a question for our guy? You got a question?
What did you see developmentally that made you think that the Bills had any positives during this game?
Dog Kincaid, the tight end?
Yeah.
I saw him, and I actually liked the backup left tackle. I forget his name, but I liked him. Yeah,
What
him
number
and,
was it?
Kincaid.
What number was the backup tackle? 75?
I think 75.
75. That's Richard Garage from out of Florida. He played with him in Florida, so teammates. So
Yeah, it was him and the guy that's from, I think, University of Connecticut, something like that. Another
Mississippi
backup tackle.
Broker.
He was actually decent, and Latavius Murray is the truth. He's older, but he's a good backup running back, and he's got some size with him.
Right. And you're going to need that size, especially in them short yard situation, goal line situation. You still have Damian Harrison, too. And I think James Cook is going to have a better season at running back one than Devin Singletary did. So we just got to run the ball. So, again, man, hey, I appreciate you calling in. And, man, hey, hit us up anytime,
no problem. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir. All right, hey, hit us up, man. We want to know what you think in Buffalo. 716-837-1112. But before we click, let's hear what my boy Josh Allen had to say about all of this, right? Let's hear what my man Josh had to say in reference to, getting, in the mix with his guys again, just getting the feel for the guys and those pre-snap penalties. Here's Josh Allen. What was it like just getting the feel for your teammates and, being out there with Kincaid for the first time?
Yeah, it was awesome. I think he did some good things today. I think we did good things today. I don't think it was all bad. I think obviously that first half we wish it was prettier. But again, we're going to learn from it. But I think him especially Kincaid came out and made some really nice plays for us, and that's a positive sign. But yeah, we'll learn.
How do you clean up those pre-snap penalties?
I think just again more attention to detail. I think maybe in practice an extra effort emphasized on that and making sure that we're on the same page. I think sometimes it's youth, some of the younger guys, again just getting those reps and getting that experience, and a lot of learning moments for these guys and myself included.
There it is. That's Josh Allen, y'all. The post game presser, losing to the Steelers, 27-15. Just hey, again, it was some good moments, but again, those penalties and those turnovers just overshadowed it, and it just made it look completely bad. Complete bad. Even though it was preseason, just completely bad. So again, they got to go out there. Josh Allen and the crew, y'all got to be out there Saturday versus the Chicago Bears, at least the first quarter. And go sit it down. There's no way you start the season coming out the way you just came out like that. So or Steph Diggs is really going to really want out of Buffalo. You ain't gonna wait for Stephen A to tell him that he's going to really start saying it himself. But we'll get into that in just a minute. So hey, we're going to take a quick break. But when we return, we're definitely going to chime into what was said today from Stephen A's mouth, the Stephon Diggs rebuttal. And, let's hear your opinion. Phone lines is open, 716-837-1112. You know what to do. Holler at your boy. We'll be right back with more Believe in Bills Late Night Sports.
Get ready for Celebrity Spotlight on the legendary Mix 1080 AM WUFO powered 96.5 FM. A look behind the scenes with some of the biggest names in the world of entertainment. Athletes,
you know how to be
actors,
a Patriots fan.
producers, engineers, musicians, authors, and filmmakers, just to name a few. They're making major moves in the entertainment sector, and you'll hear from them. Celebrity Spotlight, Thursday at 4:20 p.m.
He better worry about Christian Wilkinson getting traded to Indy for Jonathan Taylor.
What's kind of unique about Roswell Park is the experience
for Jonathan Taylor. He better chill out.
My name is Marco Davila.
Would you make that trade? Would you trade Christian Wilkinson for Jonathan Taylor?
I was speaking to a patient. They were going through their kind of cancer journey.
Yeah, think about that. We're gonna talk about that. So think about that. Y'all got to this commercial break. We'll time it out. Even though we know this is the Believe in Bills podcast, we're gonna go a little bit off grid because it was mentioned today. So I was like, you know what?
Other people may now
that may make sense. That may make sense.
Preclinical and clinical experience.
Yes, I would say yes.
That's why Roswell Park has its comprehensive
saying.
cancer center designation from the NCI. We
We're gonna
have
find
the
out.
research infrastructure to be able to continue to
Listen,
advance
phone lines is open. Y'all can hit us up.
and that's why you spend
716-837-1112.
On your period, sudden gushes happen without warning.
What y'all think about
Now,
this whole
you can
Stefan
say
Diggs?
goodbye to stand-up gush fears thanks to
Whatnot Buffalo,
Always Ultra Thin
all
with
cap from
rapid
Stephen A.
dry technology. It absorbs gushes
You know what
2
I'm saying?
times faster
I don't know who this
than the
is.
leading
What's going
store
on?
brand
Facebook user.
and gives you up to
I'll find out later, though.
100%
Yeah, perfect timing to put this out
free protection.
because this is what
Hello,
America
clean
wanted
and
anyway.
comfortable.
They wanted
With Always
some sort
Fear,
of
no
Diggs
gush.
is gonna blow up again type moment, right? Yeah, just started too damn early.
Jonathan Taylor should go to a good team.
Ooh, so we wrong.
I mean, Paul Robinson.
So we going with? All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Late Night Sports. Once again, I'm your host, Mookie Hawkins. On the ones and twos, DJ Ready Rob. Joining me inside the booth, I have Andre the Torch Robinson and my guy Justice the General. You know, you are tuned into the Believe in Bills podcast, you know, on the Fan Base Network and, you know, right here on Power 96.5. We're going live in the studio today. You know what I mean? So if y'all hear that, make sure y'all tune into the podcast. It's all day long on Twitter and all social media platforms. And we are live right now. So if you missed it, you know, we was just, you know, basically recapping, you know, Bills and Steelers. We're putting that to bed finally. We're on to Chicago as the Bills will be facing off against the Chicago Bears. And, you know, we got a caller? Okay. All right. So just let's just finish this up. We got a question too. But we're gonna let our caller get into his question. But we have a question, and you can hit us on the phone lines too. The question is, not Bills related. Would you trade Christian Wilkinson to the Colts for Jonathan Taylor? Hit us up 716-837-1112. Let us know what you think about that. Would you make that trade? We'll get into that in just a minute. But let's bring our caller in. Caller, you are live. State your case.
Hey, what's going on, Mookie, Dre?
Dre, what's good?
Marcus Herring calling. Marcus Herring on the phone.
Marcus, what's good?
Marcus.
Marcus, you in the booth this year?
What's that?
You in the booth this year again?
Yeah, actually, I'll be in Chicago.
In Chicago? I won't be in Chicago.
Yeah.
I ain't going to Chicago.
Yeah, I'm going to be there, leaving out first thing Friday morning.
Nice. Safe travels. What's up?
Appreciate it. Now, I told Dre I'll make sure I can give you a call. Y'all sound awesome on the radio and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah. Far as that trade, Miami doesn't run the ball nearly enough. Their whole line is still very suspect. Jonathan Taylor is a beast, but Christian Wilkins is that boy up front. And I would love for them to get rid of him because he's a problem for the Bills.
I agree with that. I'll definitely agree. That's why I say, hey, maybe it is a makeable trade because Christian Wilkinson won 18 to 20 million. Jonathan Taylor, okay, yeah, he wants a bag too, but he's not going to get that type of bag that Christian Wilkinson is going to get. So you can get that probably at a cheaper rate. Let's say, hey, we'll give you 4 years, 40 million. Jonathan Taylor, Christian Wilkinson, that's half of what Christian Wilkinson won. On a contract extension, you can draft you another.
Looking at strict numbers, I understand the numbers part. I'm talking strictly football. There's no way in the world, and for me, if I'm a Dolphins fan and I hear Christian Wilkins being traded, that's almost as bad as Jones or KC.
Yeah.
Because Wilkins is that boy. He's that problem up front. And if you, as we already know, you control the trenches, you control the game.
Yeah, we know he's a dog. And
He's
right now,
the kid next to him, Zito ain't no joke either. He's probably the reason why that our former left guard is still unemployed because he just lunched twice a year last year.
Well, you seen how Osiris Torrance is playing. You know, he was locked in.
I like him. No, Cyrus is balling. I like
Cyrus
him
is
as a
balling
guy.
out there. So I want to see what it's going to be like when he matches up against Quentin Williams. You know, because that was one of the reasons why the Bills drafted him for Quentin
We
Williams.
need him to get them tackle defensive tackles, them dog tackles.
Definitely. So, okay, Marcus, I'm going to keep you online one time with us, right? So let's dive into the topic of everybody want to get into, right?
No problem. I'm sure.
Stephen A. puts out there today for no reason at all. You know, the topic of discussion was, I guess it was about the Jets, you know, being the biggest, takeover in the AFC or whatever the case.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen A. just went on and just volunteered some information that had nothing to do with the question being asked. So that became the topic because, this is what we talk about, how mainstream media, national media creates the narrative, right?
Yeah,
and Stephen A. just went with that and put it out there, and that became the topic of the day. No matter what else went on in sports, that's everything everybody's talking about. There's so many memes and flyers and publications attaching Stephon Diggs to what Stephen A. said.
Yeah. His show is about debates, conversation. People get tired of seeing the same narratives. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers, Cowboys, Dak Prescott. I mean, that's the same nonsense going on. People get tired of that.
Okay, well, we have it. All right, so let's play Stephen A. On what he said on First Take today. Here's Stephen A. If you ain't heard it, here you go.
Because to me, elevating it just like that is letting the Buffalo Bills off the hook. Last time I checked, we looked at Josh Allen and we said, yo, man, what's going on? You in the AFC Championship game a few years ago. You and Patrick Mahomes was going at it. You were supposed to be the heir apparent and stuff like that. Stuff ain't worked out. You lose. Joe Burrow comes up there, goes to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Last year at the AFC Championship game. And instead of thinking about Josh Allen, we thinking about Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow going up against one another, okay? So you got Stephon Diggs, this brother all-world receiver, but clearly wasn't happy, walked out, didn't want to talk to nobody. They came into training camp. They had some friction. They had to get settled and all of this other stuff. Brother wants out, by the way. I'm just telling you what I know. I got my own sources. Brother wants out. He don't want to be in Buffalo anymore. He don't want to. I'm telling you right now. I have my sources. Stephon Diggs got to be there, but he would prefer to be gone because he's lost a level of belief. You only got 2 playoff victories since your Super Bowl win. Only 2 playoff victories since your Super Bowl win, okay? So you looking at the Baltimore Ravens, what they have collectively, offensively and defensively, with their coaching, with their experience, with their Rough Rider mentality and reputation. I could make a legitimate argument that because of Lamar Jackson and his new contract, because of Josh Allen and how the Buffalo might be fading and he's got to stop that, along with quote-unquote America's team. I got 3 teams right there that I can make a legitimate argument have just as, if not a bigger target on their back than the New York Jets.
All right, so we're going to get to the Stephon Diggs stuff, hopefully in a bit.
Yeah, we're getting to it. Orlowski said, you know what? We're going to get into the Stephon Diggs stuff in just a bit. Because you just volunteered some stuff that had absolutely nothing to do with the question that was asked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, Stephen A., that besides that conversation, he want to stay relevant. And the narrative before today was about how much Stephen A. has not been on his own show lately.
Stephen A. would probably never get an interview with Stephon Diggs and for the rest of his life. And whoever his people is, they probably got cussed out already. I'm quite sure that he got down to the bottom of that. But, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, why would you volunteer information like that, Stephen A.? That was not the question.
Let's be relevant. I will say this, though. If this was week 5, and say the Bills was like 1-3,
of course he's going to say something. What you don't think he's not going to say nothing? I'm going to say something if the Bills is 1-3. Everybody should say something if the Bills is 1-3, not just Stephon Diggs.
That's what I'm saying. But my point is, obviously, you play ball. You know a lot of stuff you want to keep in-house.
if you're 1-3, it's nothing to keep in house anymore. Everybody and their mama is talking about.
Yeah, I'm saying as far as putting it out there, like I'm gonna cuss everybody out.
Well, you know, of course, I'm not talking about his teammates. I'm talking about his people that Stephen A. feel comfortable to go on live TV and say that about. So who is his sources? Right.
Too much.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Stephon Diggs probably cussing somebody out. You know, family member or something that gave Stephen A. that to go just volunteer.
So confident,
right? So confident, and we got a rebuttal from Stephen A. now. We definitely do have a rebuttal and him coming back. Well, I want to say backtracking and still, you know, holding up to what he said at the same time, kind of like contradicting himself, and you know, at the same time, because you know, hey, Steph responded to it immediately. He didn't respond in the cryptic. He didn't respond to it in a cryptic way. You know, everybody understood. It was quite transparent on this tweet. You know, twice,
clear,
not once but twice. Okay. So you know, Stephen A. that kind of make you look, you know, foolish in regard for you to put something out there like that, knowing that this is what Stephon Diggs is going to do anyway. He has to diffuse this, you know, immediately. So hey, I respect Stephon Diggs for, you know, addressing the problem immediately.
Exactly.
You
So
know?
how long before Stephen A. come back with his rebuttal to the rebuttal?
Oh, we got the rebuttal right now. He said this, you know, on his podcast later on that day. I mean, you know, he said so much.
Do you have it? I didn't hear that part yet.
Oh, we got it right now. You want to play it?
Yeah,
Here you go.
Play it. Let me hear that.
So I was personally told by people very, very close to Stephon Diggs that he ain't really feeling Buffalo ain't gonna man the trade or anything. He just feels like they missed their window of opportunity. That was all I said. In fairness to Stephon Diggs, especially since I haven't spoken to him, you need to see his response because he went to social media and responded to debunk what I said. He said, rocking with my dogs, Bills Mafia through and through. Diggs, 100% not true. Just 11 minutes ago. That was 9 minutes ago. That first tweet I made. That was 9 minutes ago. This one was before that, 2 minutes prior to that. He says 100% not true. I don't know who the source is, but I thought I nipped this shit in the bud already. Well, fine. It's his life. Okay? And I guess only he knows in his heart what is true and what is not true. I'm telling you what I heard from people very, very close to him. 2 people specifically. Okay? I'll let him figure out who that is. Quote, he ain't gonna demand a trade. He ain't gonna force his way out. It's nothing like that, Stephen A. The reason why he was that way on the sidelines, and the reason why he was that way in the offseason, and the reason why he wasn't bothering necessarily in him and Coach, Sean McDermott and Josh Allen had to talk is because Stephen A. he ain't feeling it. He feels like they may have missed their window of opportunity. So he's denying it. I'm telling you what I heard. It don't make me wrong. I'm just telling you what I've been told. And the bottom line is his behavior was indicative of that. Let's call it what it is.
Okay, Stephen A.
Okay,
Stephen A. You know, he went on to say more. I mean, I don't want to like direct traffic to his podcast, but hey, if you want to hear what else he had to say, it's definitely on his podcast. He's saying a little bit more than that, you know. But yeah, you know,
I respect what he said.
I respect that too, but it's not your place, Stephen A., to put it on blast. Even if his people did say that, you know, that's not for you to go run on ESPN and say it.
for real.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. If he did say it, if he did, you know, in his words, it's true to every rumor. In the words of Stephon Diggs, it's true to every rumor.
Good for saying that.
So if he said that, Stephen A. wasn't your place. Even if his people said that, Stephen A., that wasn't your place to go back and tell the world.
They probably said it in confidence. They said it in confidence.
He probably said it in an emotional state. Like, he probably was just feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, after a loss, you feeling that.
After a loss, you trying to cuss out everybody.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
for the most part.
You got a bad, you know, negative perception about things, and then you cool down, you come back, and, you know what I'm saying? Things change. Would you disagree?
I'm gonna be honest. This is the first thing I'm actually gonna say today. if you're raunchy journalism, if you're raunchy media, yes, it is his place to say that. And I'm gonna tell you why it's his place. Because his place is to create the narrative. His place is to create a story as a raunchy.
To create and report.
Listen, to create and report something like that. That is what raunchy. Listen what I'm saying. Raunchy journalism and media do. Please, thank you. You understand what I'm saying right now? Yes, it is absolutely his place to do that because we all know that that's what place he's in. You don't like Stephen. You said you don't like Stephen. Well, people say they don't like
Stephen A.
Well, I mean,
I rock with him, but
y'all don't like what he did, right? That was the whole point of doing it. Regardless of bad publicity is still publicity. And a bad story is still guess who's getting hit? Guess who's joint getting lit up right now? Stephen A. Guess who's getting the engagement? Stephen A. Guess who's getting the attention? Stephen A.
ESPN.
So guess what? ESPN. So that was, I'm telling you, as much as I get what y'all saying, and I agree. Anything that you say in confidence probably should be left in confidence. But you know Stephen A.'s position, and you know who he is. If you really, really didn't want that to go out, then you don't go to Stephen A. and you talk about it. My thing is, should have kept your mouth shut. Whoever those sources is, if I'm Stephon Diggs, I'm cussing you out, number one, because why did you even go to him to even say that? You should know what type of position and what climate he in. First of all, y'all mentioned about his show. What's his name? Shannon Sharp about to come home to his show.
Right.
First take. You know he ain't did no shows in a while because he by himself right now, right? So of course he got to keep the eye on him, just like the Dallas Cowboys like to keep the eye on them. We know that, right? So you better blame the foundation who planted that seed and watered that joint to give it life to actually spread forth and create a tree. Blame them. Stephen A., that was raunchy of you. But at the same token, we can't really say that wasn't his. I mean, we can say that, but look what position.
It's his job to report.
It's his job. You didn't think that juicy information he wasn't gonna drop? Like
this is definitely a case of what would you do if your son was at home? Like
come on.
You gotta do what you gotta do to pay the bills. But you're Stephen A. Smith. You don't have to just bring up, first of all, an old story that was already been.
You just rejuvenated one that.
You just rejuvenated the story in which the subject of the story is going to actively, publicly say you're wrong and you're 100% lying. Stop talking about me. So what do you gain if you're Stephen A. Smith other than this attention?
All the attention, all the clicks,
that feels like stupid attention to me. Like you could easily talk about something else, other rumors you heard. Like you're Stephen A. Smith, I'm sure you have all the sources. Why would you just out two of your sources on something that really isn't that big of a deal?
Justice General, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
How much is the stupid market? We say, what was that percentage you said? 60-40. 60-40 yesterday. How much of the media listeners is stupid? Let's be clear. Or will believe anything they hear that's stupid.
Let's talk about something that's stupid. Let's talk about your boy Colin Cowherd's top 10 quarterback receiver duel.
And then this guy.
Listen,
all, and defensively, right now, your guess is good as mine.
Well, I don't know.
It appears that McDermott wants to be a lot more aggressive with blitzing and stuff like that, which also means, boys are going to be in man coverage a lot more.
Good. I mean, that
now
Tyler Elam can play where he
play more. Now, here's the thing, though. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, love them dudes. They're probably one of the best tandems in zone because they hide what they're doing as far as they can both play strong and free. You don't know which one they're doing. But in man coverage, you got to lock on to somebody. I'm going by what the tape say. They'll get more reps if they keep playing. But that young boy ran away from Jordan Poyer in Pittsburgh. Ran away from him.
He certainly did.
He straight ran away from him. It was a bad angle by Jordan, and he ran away from him. But if you play aggressive, and the Bills wasn't playing aggressive there, if you play aggressive, that allows your back end to play, a little bit more close up in coverage too, because now they just reacting.
Yeah, exactly.
They just reacting instead of they already know the play is at hand, rather than just sitting back waiting for it, and now you're out of position to make a tackle. So they got to be more aggressive up front. So, Poyer, Trey White, Micah Hyde, they've been in this system longer than anybody. 7-8 years.
In that zone system.
Right.
So
that should allow Coach McDermott to be a little bit more aggressive up front when you got guys in the back end who's played together that long. So hopefully we can see a little bit more aggression out of this Bills defense. Again, it's only preseason, so trust the process and keep hope alive. Right?
Our second level.
Yeah, second level.
Running backs.
Second level is definitely an issue.
Especially we are man coverage. If we're blitzing, our backers got to cover them backs.
Right. So we got to get that thing fixed, man. One way or the other, we'll find out this Saturday in Chicago how they're going to clean that up or get some new linebackers. So, Marcus, I'd like to thank you for coming on behalf of DJ Ready Bob and Torch Robinson and Justice the General. I'm Mookie Hawkins. Stay safe, choose love, not hate. Wash them damn hands, man.
A blend of R&B and your favorite throwbacks.
Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts.
Calvin Ridley's coming off an injury, and wasn't he suspended?